This is Bourgeois Latte, live in full effect at my cafe music bar, where you get a full orgasm of great indie music. So come chat with me.
Look, pull up and unwind, turn up the music, let's vibe, light up melodies and chill. Don't worry about the bill, the specials on the house for real. I feel a little bourgeois with the pinky up. Sip a latte in the dim light, chilling in the cut, vibing out, rocking out with some friends of mine. Just enjoying life, talk about some shit, some real shit when two words collide down. Great for you had the time. Lately been needing something to listen to, just a vibe. Right now is the time. So grab your coffee mug and relax, and sip your tea and let the music take action. Dog. Hello, welcome to Bourgeois Coffee Tea. I'm the coffee dog, and I'll be happy to take your order. I'd like to welcome you to the coffee table, sipping on a latte now, letting all the vibes play out. Yeah, yeah. I'd like to welcome you to the coffee table, sipping on a latte now, letting all the vibes play out.
This is Bourgeois Latte, live in full effect at my cafe music bar, where you get a full orgasm of great indie music. So come chat with me.
Look, pull up and unwind, turn up the music, let's vibe, light up a blunt and burn time.
This is Bourgeois Latte, live in full effect at my cafe music bar, where you get a full orgasm of great indie music. So come chat with me.
Look, pull up and unwind, turn up the music, let's vibe, light up a blunt and burn time. As long as your time is my time, order a cup of melodies and chill. Don't worry about the bill, the specials on the house for real. I feel a little bourgeois with the pinky up. Sip a latte in the dim light, chilling in the cut, vibing out, rocking out with some friends of mine. Just enjoying life, talk about some shit, some real shit when two words collide down. Great for you had the time. Lately been needing something to listen to, just a vibe. But right now is the time. So grab your coffee mug and relax, and sip your tea and let the music take action. Dog. Hello, welcome to Bourgeois Coffee Tea. I'm the coffee dog, and I'll be happy to take your order. I'd like to welcome you to the coffee table, sipping on a latte now, letting all the vibes play out. Yeah, yeah. I'd like to welcome you to the coffee table, sipping on a latte now, letting all the vibes play out.
Hey, you guys. This is Bourgeois Latte, live in full effect at Latte Java Drips Radio, where we serve it cool while making it hot. And we have here international singer Samuel G. Thank you for coming through. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy that you took the time out to come through and have this interview with me, because I feel like I heard this song called Grateful. I was on YouTube and I saw your video, Grateful, and I was like thinking to myself, okay, is this guy, Afro beats, like Afro gospel? Because I have a friend who writes music, Afro beats music, but Christian music. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, this guy's great. And I was telling her about you. And I was like, you know, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to have a conversation with him and see if he would come through and tell me a little bit about himself. So, you know, I started to do a little bit more research and got your bio, and I found out all these amazing things that you've been doing. But I need to know, who is Samuel G? Tell us, who is Samuel G?
All right. So basically, in a nutshell, Samuel G is an artist from Ghana, West Africa, who has a vision of influencing the world for the better. Okay. There's so much negativity in the world, and my passion is to inspire people with my story. That's first of all, because I believe that my story and my experiences are unique to me, and that gives me the credibility to you know, share and inspire people. Because if you've never been through something, it's hard for people to take you seriously.
It's true.
You know, so my story, I want to use my story to inspire people. I'm super passionate about, you know, seeing people follow their dreams, seeing people become positive, especially you know, for Black people also, because it's a time when the world really needs more excellent Black people. And so I want to inspire people all over the world, regardless of, you know, ethnicity or whatever, but just to inspire people to be excellent. You know, there's a serious deficiency of excellence in the world right now. Everybody just wants to do stuff, you know, anyhow, you know, and there's just so much craziness in the world. And I want to be a positive force. And that is basically my passion, is a part of who I am, right? So it's very synonymous with my identity. And that's what I want to do and achieve.
So I read in your bio that, you know, when you were 5 years old, you took on a passion of music. Now, I've always felt that music plays a big part in Black culture.
For sure.
But it all starts in Africa. Yeah. You know, the first beat, the first rhythm, the first instrument is the drum. You know, it has a lot of history behind that. And I sometimes think that we forget that, you know?
We do, especially I was at a show last year. I came on tour last year, Germany, and I was part of a show that was about electronic music, you know, techno and stuff like that. So I found out for the first time that techno was actually created by Black people. I never knew that. And most people don't even know that. And you know, they showed me all the history and showed me everything, and I never knew it. It actually started in, I think it was in Detroit.
Or or they call it house music.
Yes. It was in Detroit, and I read about Frankie Knuckles.
Yes.
And all of those people, you know, and I was like, wow.
Chicago. Yeah, I'm from Chicago. Yeah, house music is a big thing.
Interesting. Yes. So, you know, yeah. I mean, music's a lot of it, you know, popular music that we enjoy today started in Africa. That's correct.
But if you really think about it, it started in Africa. I can't pronounce it. Amapiano. Am I saying it correctly?
Amapiano, yes.
Yes. That has somewhat of a house vibe, you know, house music vibe to it. So, you know, when we think about music, people forget. And I try to remind people that it all starts in Africa. And I don't know, I just feel like there's more to it. You know what I'm saying? It's a language. It's universal as well, but it's so much deeper than that. You know, even with hip hop, even with R&B, blues, country, you know, it all means something. It's a different lingo, but it's all still the same.
That's true.
With pain, with love, with passion,
Yeah.
you know. And, you know, when I think about watching you and checking out your videos and checking out your story, it's like, I can imagine, like, wow, it must feel really good to be able to travel all over the world to do something that you're passionate about. Like,
it is a blessing.
Freedom, right?
It is a blessing. It is a blessing. And I mean, it's what I do full time. I do music full time, so it's definitely I'm always grateful for that opportunity to do what I love, and I enjoy it so much, and it's just brought a lot of blessings to me. And you know, there's a scripture in the Bible that says that your gift will make way for you. You know, so I mean, it's definitely a blessing. I thank God for that every day.
Yeah, it is. It really is. You know, describe yourself in 3 words.
Okay, so 3 words. That's a tough one.
Why?
It might be the whole sentence.
Easy.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. Okay, so 3 words. Brave. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, second word. Ambitious. Disciplined. So brave, ambitious, disciplined.
Have you ever felt rejected? Has anyone ever rejected you as far as, you know, in your music career?
Oh yeah, many times.
Really?
And that's kind of what inspired me to write God Did, my song God Did, because I mean it came at a time when, yes, I was, you know, I was doing well, like things were picking up, but it came from a place where when I remembered, you know, being rejected a few times, and I think I saw a few people who I knew a few people who I felt could help me, you know, and I wasn't sure why they didn't want to help me, you know, so because I saw some of the people they were helping, and those people were not as, let me be very diplomatic here, we're not going to be a lucrative investment of time and resources as I would have been for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I felt a little rejected a few times. I've seen artists who I used to work with and they got signed to labels and stuff like that, and I wasn't, you know, and so it kind of got a little frustrating at some point. But you know, I always stayed determined, and I was always, you know, for me, I just keep on going. I don't really care about feelings too much, so no matter, regardless of how I feel, I still do what I have to do. So yes, I felt rejected at certain times, but I still had to do what I do.
Yeah. You know, I wonder if people, not every artist, but if you weren't getting paid to do this, could you like forever do this for free? I always, you know, Oprah always says, you know, you have to, when you do something, you know, and you're passionate about it, sometimes, you know you're passionate about it when you can do it for free.
Exactly.
And I wonder sometimes, you know, with the music industry now, do people feel that way? And some people don't even know what being an independent artist really means. You know what I mean? It's like they don't understand that they have to have a budget, you know. Some won't even take the time to do the research. Some people are a triple threat, you know, where they are dancers, singers, and songwriter. And you do all that, you know, and you write your own music, you know how to play an instrument, and you sing. I mean, did you have voice lessons? Did you take voice lessons? Because your voice is beautiful.
Thank you.
You know?
Yeah. So, you know, that's why this is one of the reasons why I'm always grateful to God, right? Because this is an interesting question.
Okay.
I wasn't always a good singer. I really wasn't, you know, and I don't know if I still have them, but I do have some of my very old recordings when I was like 11 years old or something like that, where I was singing, and it wasn't good.
Well, usually around that age, your voice is developing anyway. You know?
Yes, but I mean, I've seen kids who are like 8 years old and they sing really, really well. So it wasn't that great when around that age, to be honest. But I was, like I said, I was when you know, I wanted to do music at a very young age. So I was like 12 years old, and I was like, okay, I really want to do music.
Right.
And I literally rehearsed every single day. I would listen to Michael Jackson, especially. I would listen to Sean Paul,
Yeah,
Lionel Richie.
Sean Paul.
I listened to a lot of music, you know, and I would literally rehearse every single day I rehearsed. And one day, this is when I found out I was good. It was a school, I think I was around 13 years old or something like that. And one day I sang, because I was always singing, I always loved to sing. So even at school, during break time, I was singing. And you know, when you do something and you can tell that, damn, this is nice.
Yeah.
So I remember I sang the song, Heal the World by Michael Jackson. Heal the world, make it a better day for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying if you can't enough. And I sang that song, and there were like 3 people with me. And I mean, my school, you know, had a bunch of crazy people in the school, and they were very critical. But after I sang that song, one of the kids, I still remember him very well. He looked at me and was like, "You have a very nice voice," and that was very unusual because, you know, we were all like, you know, boys, and we were like tough and like, "Yo, shut the hell up," you know. And we were real. Like nobody would ever compliment you if you didn't really mean it, you know. And so, when when he said that, that was like confirmation, because I felt I did a really great job when I sang that song. And but you know, you can never tell, right? I mean, I didn't want to get, you know, ahead of myself or something like that. So, but when he said it, I was like, okay, so he's hearing the same thing that I'm hearing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if he said it's good, then and that's when like thing, like I knew I could sing. I was like 13, 14 years old, and it got better. Yeah.
So who's your favorite artist? You said, you know, Michael Jackson. But,
Definitely he's number one.
yeah. Right, you know, people said that Michael Jackson, like, he has a really soft voice, but it's not really his voice. He really has a deep voice, but he talks softly because
Yes.
they say that it's supposed to, like, I guess it's supposed to help him.
Preserve his voice,
Yeah.
yes. That's
So,
true.
is that really true?
Yeah, I believe that's true.
Because I was wondering, like, his voice is so high, but I actually heard him talk one time, like an interview, and his voice got really deep. I was like, wait, hold a second. This is not Mike.
Yeah.
But if you could spend an hour talking to any person, you know,
Yeah.
musically, you know, who would that be? Not Mike, Michael Jackson, but someone else. I know you, Mike, but
Perhaps that would be Quincy Jones.
yeah.
Definitely Quincy Jones. Definitely.
Brilliant.
Definitely.
Brilliant man. You know, I had just watched a show about him a while back, a history about him, and it was quite interesting because he just a talented man. Like, he traveled all over the world. I mean, didn't he live in Paris for a while? You know,
I never knew that.
I mean, he's
Never knew that.
so culturally, you know, you're out there in Germany. Like, how is it out there in Germany? I have a few friends that have lived there. My friend, she has a brother that lives in Germany, stationed in Germany. He's in the military.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. The weather is actually really, really nice right now. It's, you know, summer vibes. The weather is really nice. It's very, very quiet here. Definitely very peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it here. It's nice.
So, when is the next project? I know you have another project coming up that's got to be.
Yeah, I'm working on, well, I have a new song that came out Juneteenth, inspired by Juneteenth, titled June. It's out now.
Okay.
But I'm currently extensively pushing my new single, Suma, which is really taking off, it's doing pretty well, and I'm promoting that and, you know, just pushing it and making sure that it gets to the apex, because it's a really big song. I performed last night at the festival and heart went crazy. It's a song that has really resonated with different ethnicities that I didn't even think it was going to resonate with.
Really?
Yeah, Asians love it. Middle East, they love it. Europeans loved it yesterday at the festival. Africans obviously love it. The Americans also love it. So I think it's a big song.
I'm really happy that Afrobeats is starting to take over.
Yeah.
It was time. I mean, I've been listening to Afrobeats for a long time. My station plays nothing but Afrobeats, to be honest with you. And I have an app as well. Latte Java Drips also is an app. But yeah, definitely always playing Afrobeats, nonstop reggae. It was time. And it's kind of weird because there was a time where people weren't ready for it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm thankful for like Burna Boy and Wizkid. Yeah. You know, I'm thankful for Chris Brown because I kind of feel like Chris kind of helped bring that out a little bit.
Sure. I mean, 2011, I would say the person who really pushed Afrobeat before Burna Boy and all that.
Yeah.
Because like Fuse ODG was the first time I heard Afrobeat mainstream. Right? Fuse ODG. Because I was not even in Ghana at the time. But the first time I heard my you know, foreign friends listening to Afrobeats was Fuse ODG. That was the very first time. And then of course Wizkid and, you know, and then the new era, and then Burna Boy and all of that. But it was really, Fuse really pushed it very hard that time.
Oh. Well, I'm glad that it's getting the recognition and deserve. I'm glad to see African movies on Netflix. I'm seeing more of it. I'm really seeing. I'm like, but you know, the owner is married to a black woman, so you know he was going, yeah. So you know he was going to have to, you know, put some culture on there, you know.
Sure.
But you know, I noticed that on Netflix that they are like really pushing a lot of movies and a lot of musicals on there. And it is time because, you know, this is a melting pot. This whole world, we are a melting pot and people need to like get with it. You know, I mean, hey, I'm just happy that, you know, Afrobeats is really is blooming and it's really everybody loving it. Everybody doing, you know, choreography. Yes. I think TikTok has really helped it out a lot. You know, and people, I'm starting to see that, you know, black people are starting to love themselves. Yes. You know, starting to love themselves more.
Yes.
You know, so another question I want to ask you is, what do most people misunderstand about you? Or is there anybody that misunderstands you? Because I know, you know, some people, there's always somebody out there that misunderstands, you know, an artist and their craft.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. This is a very good question. I'm trying to remember. What do they misunderstand about me?
Because I know it's difficult to get on this stage, to have to perform and be at your best 24/7, you know, and for you to think that someone was not gonna, you know, pop, I'm sorry, but I mean, this is summertime. It's the perfect time for that song, you know. So, you know,
Yeah.
People are ready. We're ready.
Yeah, they're ready. You know, I think one of the because I'm a producer as well, right? So I'm an artist and producer, and sometimes I think maybe the misunderstanding sometimes might be that because it took me a while to start releasing my own music, I think some people just kind of felt that I was focused more on producing, but they didn't know that I was just gearing up and preparing myself to be a big artist. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just getting ready. I wanted to come prepared. I wanted to come ready, and I wanted to really figure out what it is I wanted to do. You know, and so I think I was just training myself. You know.
Yeah. You know, I think it's funny because there was an artist. He was a songwriter, and he wrote for a lot of people. And I sometimes feel it's difficult for writers to become singers because they sometimes the music, like this one young lady I had co-host with a friend of mine, and he's from Jamaica, and Articulate, and this one young lady, she wrote for Music Soul Child. She wrote for a lot of neo soul artists, and she wrote for Rihanna. And sometimes I can hear, you know, some of her music. It sounds like Rihanna, but it's crazy because it's her music. It's not Riri music. It's her music, and I can imagine how difficult that could be to be able to be a songwriter and transition to being a singer. And maybe that's probably one of the reasons why it was probably hard for people to see you probably as a singer, because you produce music, you know.
But the thing is, I've always been I was an artist first before a producer. But I only took the production a little bit more seriously because I had to produce my own music, right? So I had to focus on that for some time, you know, before I can come back as an artist.
And it's actually smart though, because I mean, look at country music. I always use country music as an example. A lot of country singers write their own music. They play their own music. That's why they actually make more money than hip hop artists and R&B artists. And I couldn't believe that, but it makes a whole lot of sense. It's because they write their own music, they sing their own music, and they keep it within their community.
Yes.
So, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I mean, and it's difficult in this music industry because everybody, you know, everybody's trying to make it to the top. And then there's some people who are just artists. They don't even really care about the fame, and they just want to make great music. And I know you're probably one of those people that just want to make great music and move people.
Yes, I do want to make great music. However, I also want to be famous, of course, because this is what I always say, right? And, you know, a lot of times, a lot of artists are not comfortable with saying that they want to be famous because they feel like, oh, I don't want to say that. And it sounds like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Fame is not a bad thing.
Oh, no.
Right? Now,
it's not.
Would I do anything for fame? Absolutely not. I mean, there are tons of ways I could be famous overnight, non-ethical ways, and ways that would not sit right with me, you know, my conscience, right? But I would never do that. I would never compromise for fame. However, I do want to be famous. I want to be famous because I put out the music that I put out because I believe it's good, and
you worked hard.
Exactly, and I believe that people need to hear it, right? And I believe that people need to enjoy it. So why would I not want every single human being on the planet to hear it? Why not?
That's true.
I mean, if everybody could hear my music, I'll be happy. That'll be great.
That's true. I mean, look, hey, I would love to be the next Oprah.
Amen to that.
I don't, you know, I wouldn't want all that money though. I just feel like when you have all that money, you don't know who's your friend. And I always wonder, like, being famous and being an artist, I would rather be the person that no one knows. You know what I'm saying? They just know Bourgeois Latte, but don't know who you know, that person. You know, it's almost, it's crazy because, okay, I was having a conversation with a friend, and this friend is a doctor. And he said he never understood artists, why they will waste their time and not go to school and have a backup plan. You know, and I told him, I said, you know, Spike Lee was having a conversation with Gary Vaynerchuk, and he was saying that parents and teachers will kill people's dreams before they can even start, and they will live their life not knowing their potential. Whereas I sometimes think because they are doctors, that that's all they know, and it's a comfort for them. Because when you're a doctor, you do the same things over and over again. And when you retire when you're done. But he also said something that made me think. He said that he think that people who are musically inclined, or who are artists, or who create this whole life with music, they deep down have a psychological problem, and they use music. This is what he said, that people use music to buffer what's really going on in their lives. And I thought about it, because there are some artists out here that are creative, but they use that energy, you know, that pain, and they put it into words, into songs. But he actually says that he thinks that people who are musically inclined, they have some type of not a mental illness, but there's something in their past or something in their childhood that has made them feel like they couldn't do anything else, and that's their way of expressing their feelings.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna roast that doctor, whoever he is. I'm gonna roast him for the next 5 minutes. And I hope he's watching, because I'm gonna roast his ass, man. Listen, so this is what I'll say. Now, they say that to every rumor there is some truth to it, right?
Okay.
Now, there is some truth to what he's saying.
Okay.
In terms of the psychological disposition of a musician or a creative person. I do very much believe that musicians and creative people, their brains, our brains, are not, it does not function as normal people. I
agree.
There is
right brain.
Something different, absolutely, yes. However, it's not a bad thing. Now, this is what I'll say about what he said, right? When the world was created, there were no doctors, there were no schools, there were no universities or whatever, right?
Right.
That was not the natural design of life. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying that civilization was built by humans. It is something that people chose to do. Now, this civilization that we've built is absolutely not perfect, because there's nothing that is created by humans that is perfect. Just imagine, you know, you're a kid, you're 5 years old, you go to school, you have to go through years of school, studying and studying and studying and studying and studying. And then you have to go to university, all of that stuff, and you have to get a job. Don't forget, you spent all this money going to school, and you have to get a job. And now you're probably in debt because you went to, you probably had a college loan or whatever. And now you have to work your ass off to pay off that. And after you're done, half of your life is gone. And then now you have to try and buy a house. You have to, do all that stuff. And then by the time you're done paying off the house, you're old.
Can't really enjoy it as much.
Now, the people who really enjoy this life are the people who don't do these things. Now, don't get me wrong. There are certain people who their dream, they're like when they're 5 years old, they're like, I really want to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to school, you become a doctor, you have literally achieved your dreams. You don't need to do music or be a movie star or whatever. You need to do something that makes you feel fulfilled. Fulfillment is important, right? But this is what I think, and this is going to come off a little bit controversial, but I think that if anybody has a dream that they're good at, I mean, I'm not talking about the people who they want to do music and they suck. I'm talking about talented individuals. And let's say you want to be a movie star, you want to be a musician, or you want to be whatever. It doesn't have to be entertainment, but whatever you want to be. If you have a passion to become something and you decide not to do it because you want a backup plan, I think you're a coward.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely cowardice to succumb to the pressures of life and say you're not going to go for what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you only live once, right?
You only live once. But sometimes your parents can stop you from that. You know what I'm saying?
Now, that's a different thing. And I can't blame them if their parents stopped them. But for somebody like him saying that he doesn't understand why they would do it and not have a backup plan. It's you know, it's been said so many times, it's about the journey, not the destination.
Absolutely.
I've seen a few people, I had a friend of mine, his dad was actually a millionaire. And he, back in the days, for like 7, 8 years ago, he used to come to my studio. He was in his 40s at the time. No, 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to come to my studio during the afternoon, probably like 3 p.m. and stuff like that. And we just come and spend time in the studio and just watch the artists. And he really enjoyed it. And one day, so I was curious and asked him, why do you enjoy being in, like, you have a very successful business, but you're always trying to find, like, anytime he has spare time, he comes to the studio. So I asked him and I said, why are you so obsessed with music in the studio? And he was like, he wanted to be a musician when he was a kid. His dad didn't allow him to do it. But now he feels sad doing what he's doing. Even though he's made all this money, he doesn't feel happy. He doesn't feel fulfilled. And so he always wants to be around music. I wasn't a millionaire, but I can tell you that I was way happier doing what I was doing. So I had something that his money couldn't buy. And let me tell you something, the best things in life are free, I promise you. The best things in life are free. And somebody told me, well, that's a lie. I said, oh, really? Okay. I asked him, what's the most important thing in your life? He was like, so let me tell you what it is. It's life. That's number one. Can you buy life? No matter how much money you have. 5 billionaires died in a submarine. They couldn't buy life.
Yep.
And I said, the second most important thing is oxygen.
Mm.
Can you buy oxygen? It's free. Can't buy it. Everything else, you cannot do it if you don't have oxygen, you don't have life, you can't do it.
It's true.
You know, so I think it's time that civilization has really brought, if you really sit to think about what civilization has done to the global population, it's player versus player. And it's actually quite insane, because just think about it. If humans were born just to go to school, work, you know, get a job, go to work, come back home, die, what's the point of it all? Does it make absolutely doesn't make any sense? Life is way bigger than that. But now civilization is good, but obviously, just like anything that humans create, is never perfect. It's never perfect. It's not a perfect system.
It's not.
Getting a backup plan is not a perfect system. It's not a great way to live life, you know? It's not a great way to live life. So for those people who dare to live life on the wild side, I think they need to be celebrated, you know, because it's definitely not easy. It's definitely not easy. But, you know, I think more people need to to step outside, because we've been limited so much as humans, and I believe that many years ago, if you read the Bible and you read the ancient books, you'll see that people didn't live life the way most people live today.
That's true.
Like in terms of the power of the mind, the secrets of visualization and the law of attraction, all these things are now labeled as secrets. But these things were norms back in the day. People could perform miracles easily because people were operating on a different wavelength.
That's true.
We have boxed ourselves and limited ourselves so much. And there's so much scarcity mentality. And if you don't have a degree, what if you can't get a job? Who cares about a job, man? There's infinite resources in the world. You know what I'm saying? So are we really going to live life being so scared? Nobody's going to make it out of life alive anyway. You might as well try to do something worthwhile, something that people will remember you for years later. We look at Pablo Picasso and all these guys created. I was in a building, the mayor, I think it was the town hall building or something like that, here in Hamburg, Germany, and such a beautiful building. I mean, words can't describe it. Absolutely incredible. This was built 160 years ago. 160 years ago, humans built that amazing. And if you look at the architecture, look at the art, look at the gold and the way its sculptures were done, oh my God, it's absolutely mind-blowing. I really can't describe it in words. And I was thinking how much time, think about a lack of equipment, think about the, all of the limitations that they might have had because they didn't have technology, they didn't have any of these things we have now. But how could they have built something like this? And then it dawned on me that back in the day, people didn't care about jobs. They didn't care about jobs. They didn't care about paying mortgage. There was no mortgage. They had farms where they could just eat. At the end of the day, they just had to survive, right? But what they did, men spent their time trying to achieve a life mission. So if it was going to take 20 years of their life to build that building that would last for hundreds of years, that would be their life mission. That would be their legacy on earth. And that's what they spent their entire life doing. And today we're celebrating them and we're using those things. And so they spent their lives not trying to build, buy houses and cars. They spent their lives building legacy, doing something that was their passion. Because I tell you, I almost find it impossible to believe that actual human beings built those things. It's mind-blowing. I mean, you could go on YouTube and just look at any of the ancient European buildings and look at the pyramids of Giza. These are things, I mean, I know it was probably built in slavery and all that, but the ones that were not built by slavery or just think of how much work. And with all our civilization now, we're not able to duplicate stuff like that.
No.
Because we have to
impossible.
Work, they have to come home. People hate their jobs, they don't want to work. And so life was not designed to be this way. And every time we step out of our original design, there are glitches, then it's an error. You know what I'm saying? So I would encourage people to not be scared.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. But of course, it's very important that and this is the problem with artists a lot of times, right? If you want to be an artist and you want to take that walk on the wild side, you have to be extremely disciplined. You have to be responsible, and you have to work your ass off and make sure you become successful. Because a lot of times I meet a lot of artists and I talk with artists and they find it difficult to even post. and promote themselves on social media.
So you want to know why?
Work ethic is because a lot of them are spoiled and they lack the vision and they lack understanding of what life is really about.
Mm.
If you're going to do something, you might as well do it well. Because at the end of the day, the reality is you have to survive. I do music full time. I did get an education though, but I never really worked with that. I decided to do music, you know.
What did you do?
I believe education is actually important. Education is important. If you want to be a doctor, by all means, you have to go to school. If you want to fly a plane, you want to be a pilot, you have to go to school.
Go to school, yeah.
And we need these people. They're all amazing people. I have nothing against doctors or whatever. We need them. But we all can be musicians. We all can be doctors. We all can be everything, right? Everybody, God has intelligently designed nature. So even twins, I met people, there was this two sisters, they were twin sisters. Back in the day, we used to go to the same church. And one of them wanted to be a nun. The other one didn't want to be a nun.
Mm.
She loved men and she loved, she loved to go, to move around. And the sister wanted to be a nun. Why am I saying this? The concept of variety is not a coincidence.
Mm.
Fruits and vegetables are important to our lives, but there's a reason why God didn't only create apples. You got apples, you got watermelon, you got grapes, you got peaches, you got strawberries, you got a lot of different things. You got different kinds of vegetables, different kinds of meat, different kinds of animals, different kinds of fish in the sea, different weathers, different everything. Variety. So we all can't do the same thing. And that's why I have a problem with the way the civilization is structured, is that it's forcing people to do the same thing. So when you go to school, there's a set of things that you're boxed into choosing. So it's either you become a doctor or you become this other. And whenever you want to rebel and be different, society punishes you for that, for trying to stand out and trying to be different, And I don't want to say too much and take too much time, but I feel like I just want to share it.
No, that's good, because I sometimes think that some artists don't understand that you have to be disciplined, and some don't know the business. They don't understand the business, and there's just so many resources out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I also feel like if you know the information, you should share it.
Yes.
And I sometimes feel like a lot of people don't want to share information because they feel that it will affect what they're doing, as they call it, gatekeepers. I'm proud of you. And for you to feel free, to feel so free. I was watching you perform in front of some military people, and your last just performed last night, right, in Germany.
Yeah.
Concert, and how you connect with people, and you have to continually have to be on your A game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't slip up.
No way.
Because people are coming out there to see you perform, so you gotta always be on point, and that's not easy all the time. You may have to drink tea before you start singing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because you're singing constantly over and over again. You might be dehydrated. You might, need that extra, water or whatever it is that you drink, or it's not easy. And I sometimes feel like, what you were saying, that I don't think some artists understand the craft.
Yeah.
And some really don't want it. I think some people just want to be recognized or seen.
Yeah. Some do it for the wrong reasons. I know artists who just do it for girls. They just want to get girls, just want to get a little attention here and there and get girls. That's all they want to do it for. And I also know a lot of people who you can give them as much game as you possibly can. You can tell them so many secrets and advice and tips, and they would just not do it. And that's why, you know, they say the 80, is it the 80-20 rule? If you walk into a room full of 100 people and you tell them that there's gold at a certain location, only 20 people are actually going to act on that information. It's just very, very interesting. And I literally know a lot of artists that I told them, because one of the things I do a lot is that I'm very consistent and aggressive with putting out content on social media, because that's how I really connected with build most of my business relationships were built on social media. And started by me posting a lot of content. I think we met on Instagram. I've never seen that, right? But we met on Instagram, and by extension, a lot of the opportunities that I've had have come on through social media. And so I tell artists, when artists come to me and they ask me, how do I move my career to the next level and everything, I say, hey, take social media very seriously. That's what I do.
You have to. And it's kind of weird though, because the algorithms and, like I started off on Stationhead where I didn't show, no one didn't know how I look. It was just, my voice. And I had like 26K listeners. And I decided that I wanted to do my own, because I was bringing on people that they weren't even thinking about. And then I had a show, my own little show, and was bringing in artists that was on BT and, doing some major things. And because I've always wanted to do radio. I, went to college, went to school in Louisiana, did radio. My mother didn't approve of it. My parents didn't approve a lot of things. And it's funny because my mom is an artist. I found out, a couple years ago that my mother was a jazz singer in Louisiana. She played an instrument, because my mother has dementia. And she has all these, how when you go to your parents' house and you're like, well, what's this? And, there's a violin there, there's, my mother was a sculptor. My mother was an artist, a true artist,
I think a little bit of the reason why some parents don't want their kids to do certain things is because it's an adventurous path, and also it comes with a little bit of trauma. From experience. Like my personal experience. That's why a lot of artists wouldn't want their kids to be musicians, not because of anything, but they probably feel like the journey wasn't easy, and they wouldn't want their kids to go through that. But that's not how God would. That's not what God would want. Because if God put the dream in your kid's heart to be a musician, then if God did it for you, God will do it for them, right? So I think it's a little bit of trauma sometimes as well, and it comes from a place of fear. It's like I'm scared that my child might not be successful if they do it, or they might get heartbroken or something like that. It's fear.
And sometimes, fear of running into the wrong person, the wrong record label, you know what I'm saying? Just worried the fact that someone could take advantage of your child.
Exactly. And that's why I'm very big on information and knowledge. I'm extremely big on this, right? If you're going to do something, do it extremely well. Know everything. First of all, you have to be very connected with God, because you got to stay, because I always say that life is like technology, okay? The design of life is the front end and the back end. So it's like coding, right? If you want to create a software, there's the front end and the back end. The front end is the physical and everything you see. The back end, which is all where all the codes are, that's the spiritual, right? So you have to work on both sides, and make sure that everything is, organized there, So if you have both of these places unlocked, then you're good, but I mean, if for example, if you want to do music and you don't understand, the contracts, you don't understand that there are people who take advantage of people, because there are a lot of scammers on Instagram who would message you and say, hey, your music is great, I can help you get on Hot 97 FM and stuff like that. And it's a lot of artists fall for these scams because they don't even know how to identify who's a scammer, who's not a scammer.
But some of them don't even want to, but you know, so funny that some of them don't even want to interview.
Yeah.
Or if you're not, you know, if you don't have 1.5 million followers.
Listen,
you know,
I spoke to an artist on Instagram and I told her, listen, you need to network with people. Because she told me, somebody reached out to me, but I don't know. I said, listen, do you know what? It's not about numbers. When I started going on TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have numbers. I was barely getting 50 views per video. 50, which is a very, very low number for TikTok because the algorithm TikTok is crazy.
Right.
I met somebody halfway across the world in Asia who became a fan, loved what I was doing. We became friends, we vibed. This lady actually shipped a MIDI keyboard to me, which was worth over $1,000.
Wow.
And network. There are artists who would not want to get on an interview because, you know, like you're saying, that is actually very stupid because you never know who's going to be on that live. You never know who's going to listen to you. You know, so if you have to, it's actually 4 a.m. here.
I know.
You know? And, but that's how life goes, right? So if you're going to do something, you might as well do it well.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is a great conversation. You educated me on some things. You made me think about some things that I need to work on. And I'm always constantly learning. You know, it was me doing this. I have a book that I've kept for 10 years, and I would write down ideas. I can show you all these journals I have. I write down all the things that moves me. And my daughter was the one who told me about Stationhead, that I should go on Stationhead and do the radio, you know, because I work in the medical field. But
my apologies. I think I'm blasting the doctor.
No. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. I enjoy helping people. But
Wait, that's very important.
You know what I'm saying? But my passion, you know, my passion is this. This is my passion. So, and this is going to be my full-time passion. You know, that's the goal. So, you know, my daughter is the one who told me to do all this. And when I went to Grambling State University in Louisiana, you know, I studied communications. And it's crazy because I did it behind my parents' back. But I got a scholarship. Okay, there was a scholarship to go. I got a scholarship, full ride to NYU to study film.
Amazing.
You know, but I couldn't go. At that time, I was 17 years old, and my parents had to sign, so I couldn't go. But I went to Louisiana. They weren't gonna stop me, and you know, I did what I had to do. But moving forward, I enjoy listening to artists doing things that they are passionate about. Even though it took me a minute to do this, and me doing the research on how to create this, you inspire me, and you are inspiring other people that want to dream big and that are afraid to dream big. And even if this is all that I could do, and this is it, which is not going to be it, but you know, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel that, you know, I started something and I'm going to finish it.
Yes.
So I'm talking to you knowing that you travel all over the world doing something that you're passionate about, and you're so happy and free. I now understand, and hopefully my listeners will understand how important it is to follow your heart, because, you know, people go to the grave not pursuing something that they're passionate about, and I can't imagine that. I can't imagine living like that, you know? So having you on is very inspiring. And you keep doing what you're doing. And I would love to have you back on again and talk more. Shoot, maybe you should do a live. You know, you should create an Eventbrite and and have people, you know, listen to you live and just have ticket sales. I mean, look, I mean, you have a lot of fans. I mean, these people here, you know, you should create an Eventbrite and do a live show. Shoot, I'll promote it. I'll promote it, you know, and you know, and put it on YouTube so that people can come and you know, and watch you.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah, because I would definitely will pay my ticket to see it.
Thank you.
You know, yes, you're welcome. I'm gonna leave out that to play this song Summer because I want folks to hear this before we go. You know, here you go, you guys. Here's Summer.
Yes, it's good.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's magical. Suma, baby suma me meko. Odo ye wo suma. Baby suma me meko. Odo ye wo suma. Baby suma me meko. Oh baby suma. Anywhere that you wanna go. She don't want the glamour, she don't want the fame. She want make it official, she want my name. She say I'm the kind of lion she don't wanna tame. True African beauty, chocolate from a flame. I can't believe it, but I think I'm falling in now. Tired of pretending, so I wanna make you my wife for the rest of my life. Together you and I. FNF. Minne wa better now. FNF. Oh. Minne wa better now. FNF. Minne wa better now. FNF. Minne wa better now. Suma. Baby suma me meko. Odo ye wo suma. Baby suma me meko. Odo ye wo suma. Baby suma me meko. Oh baby suma. Anywhere that you wanna go. I used to be a sinner.
Hey.
Until you made me a believer. I used to follow Pia. Combine the two with Sarafina. Girl, I cannot deny. Your love it, they make her the shiva. Up in my bima.
There you have it.
Hey.
Summer, you guys. Man, I used to be a sinner, made me a believer. I know that's right. You stirred that coffee cup.
Yes.
Okay. Man, Samuel, oh my gosh. Thank you for coming through. We're going to talk real soon. Definitely going to keep networking and, you know, let's do this again.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. All right, thank you.
So you guys,
Thank
it was
you.
a pleasure too.
All right.
You guys, thank you for tuning in to Latte Java Drips Radio, where we serve it cool while making it hot, you guys. Talk to you later.
Shout out to Doris for tuning in as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, I like to thank everybody.